I'm just going to go over a few of the basics in order to get into and how to navigate and use Google Apps. So one of the best ways to get in is by going to the American School webpage. Then if you go to the quick links and down to Google Apps, you'll be able to get in by clicking on there. If you have multiple accounts, you can click on use another account. Maybe you have a child in your house who also has an account. Click on use another account. You do have to make sure that everyone is signed out. If somebody is signed in, it won't allow you to go in. So you can put in the username. There are no spaces. And all associated Google accounts through ASFG have the @asfg.edu.mx at the end, and click next. If you don't put that part, then it will assume it's just a plain Gmail account. So we press next. You're going to then enter in with the password that you have been provided. Now, if you see something like this, please don't put like a phone number or anything like that. The reason being is that if we put one phone number, somebody else might not be able to get in, and since this is an account, these are accounts that are being used by multiple people, you can just click done. Then you won't have to worry about that. Don't feel like you need to put in. Now here is the G Suite. One way we can get in is by clicking on any of these. I tend to like to go to the squares or the apps button, and that the reason being is that no matter where you are in Google Apps, you'll always see the apps button. So we can go to Mail, Drive, or anything like that. Now, everything that you do is inside the Drive. It will also be, if it's a doc, it will be stored in docs, for example. Anything that's a doc will be stored within here. Some people like the organization, for example. Anything that's a sheet, for example, would be there, but anything at all will be here in Drive. Now, I have shared a document with the team in order to practice. So I have a Google Sheets, the basics, a copy of Getting Started with Spreadsheets, for example. Now here within these, anything that is shared with you. So for example, if I have a personal account and I want to share it with the Green Team account, Parents Association, the CEA, for example, I can share it with them. But then if I right-click on it, anything that's being shared, I can do a couple of things. One thing I can do is I can make a copy of it. I could download it. If I download something, for example, that's a doc, it will be converted into a Word format. Sheets will be converted into Excel. I can also delete it. So if I make a copy, for example, I'm going to make a copy of this. Now, when you make a copy, right now I'm inside the Shared With Me, but if I click on my Drive, I'll find it there, and there it is, copy of Google Sheets, the basics. If I go then back to Shared With Me, I know when I've made a copy, if I then delete it, it might be nice for keeping a very clean drive. I can then remove it, and then it will no longer be in there. If you do, for example, delete something, you can undo it, you can go back to the trash. But since it was shared with you, now it's deleted. Now, I do have my copy, so we don't need it anymore. Another couple of things there, let's say I can also create new folders. So now as you're starting to think about how you want organization, if I go to the top where it says New, one thing I can create is a folder. Now that it depends on what your goal is, what you would like in there. Inside that folder, you can label it by months. For example, this might be November. We could label it workshops, for example, and create it. So, for example, anything that I do with the group, we can put inside workshops, and so maybe then we can move all of these that friends have already put in there, we can put them inside where the workshop is, and then we can keep things organized as well. If I click on inside, I can also put them back into my drive by clicking on the drive, and then I can pull them out as well. So it is fairly easy to organize your drive. Within New, you can also, this is where you can upload any file. So let's say that I have saved a video onto my desktop and I want to upload it in here. I have a Word document, anything that I have, I can find it and go to your PC and find it that way. You can also upload an entire folder. So let's say you were storing things in another place, you've downloaded, or they might be on your desktop or saved somewhere, you can upload that entire folder. And within here you can create, I can create a new doc, I can create a new sheet, I can create a new slide, and under more there are different things such as a form, a drawing, and maps is something fairly new, or a Google site, which is also fairly new for under here as well. So that's just like the basics of getting to know your drive mostly. Let me know if there's any other questions that you have concerning the basics of your Google.